Blake Lively is in more trouble. It is not the plot of the film that ends with us that has caused the controversy around it. Rather, is the off-screen dynamics that have drawn the interest of both viewers and employees of the company. The public was made aware of the fact that Justin Baldoni, the film's director, was noticeably missing from a number of promotional events, including group interviews, press trips, and important gatherings with Blake Lively and the rest of the cast. The drama that was currently taking place had only recently started when this incident occurred. The fact that Baldoni was never spotted with Colleen Hoover, the author of the book on which the movie is based, served to stoke the already burgeoning interest in the subject. This was an even more peculiar detail that fueled the flames of controversy. The disclosure of this material feeds the speculation fire over the subject. The issue became even more serious when Baldoni was noticeably absent from both the film's New York City premiere and the events that took place on the red carpet. This was the element that made the situation even more worrisome. Because the filmmaker did not engage in such major advertising actions, there was a great lot of anxiety regarding the issues that were being confronted. These problems were a direct result of the director's participation in the conversation, since the director refrained from participating. Fans have observed that although Baldoni is still following Blake Lively and Colleen Hoover on Instagram, neither of them is returning the favor. This is in spite of the fact that Baldoni still keeps up with them both. This is the case even though Baldoni is still following. Even though this is not how they have always handled themselves, they are still doing it now. This has thus resulted in the creation of an additional layer of mystery surrounding the entire scenario. This social media behavior, unfollowing, for example, often indicates that there are more serious issues within the context of the globalized society we increasingly live in. One type of behavior that occurs in this situation is unfollowing. In the months that followed, there was an increase in the degree of transparency around the events that led to Baldoni's decision to get out of the project. This resulted from the conditions that preceded Baldoni's choice. Previous reports said that artistic differences between Blake Lively and Baldoni, who produced the film in addition to acting in it, were the cause of the quarrel between the two. In addition, Lively produced the movie. Furthermore, Lively served as the movie's producer. Furthermore, Lively spearheaded the creative direction of the movie's production. The difficulties and possible problems that arise when people take on many roles in the same production, namely acting, producing, and directing, are highlighted in light of this scenario. People take on several duties inside the same project, which results in this situation. The first indications of issues surfaced during the production of a very important sequence that was shot on a rooftop. The scene under consideration was a rooftop scene. This particular sequence holds great significance in the process of creating the link between Lily and Ryle. Given that the film explores the sensitive topic of domestic abuse, the sequence was written with the intention of being weighty and grave. The reason for this move was to address the sensitive nature of the topic under discussion. The author first thought that the actors and actresses' improvisational abilities were to blame for things that they said throughout the filming process that she had not expected. She subsequently discovered, though, that this was untrue. It wasn't until a significant amount of time had passed that she realized she had been incorrect. Afterwards, it was discovered that Blake Lively's spouse, Ryan Reynolds, had authored the sequence. Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively were married recently. Blake Lively is the one who came up with the sequence and is also in charge of it. The actor Blake Lively is married to the actor Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds is the actor that is in question. In contrast, Lively defended this by stating that she and Reynolds frequently work together on each other's projects and that this is a custom in their marriage. Reynolds and Lively have a lengthy marriage history. It has been 6 years since Lively and Reynolds were married in a public ceremony. After the information was made public, there was a significant deal of disagreement, most notably from Baldoni, who was against Reynolds' attempt to include a humorous tone in the story. Baldoni, adamant in his belief that this should be taken into account, said that a movie that addressed the gravity of domestic abuse shouldn't have any humorous or humorous scenes. Baldoni stated that he thought this needed to be taken into account. Baldoni agreed that this was something that needed to be taken into account. The tension between the two creative minds had been building until it was boiling over during the filming of the movie's last scene. It had taken a while for this tension to build up. Lively and Baldoni decided to film their separate versions of the conclusion, each taking a completely different approach due to the significant contrasts in perspectives that they had at the time. The substantial differences between them led to the decision being taken. This was because, in the first place, they had caused a great deal of friction. On the other hand, a focus group of the audience enthusiastically applauded Baldoni's revised ending, which was thought to be more realistic and consistent with the film's overall narrative. Nevertheless, Lively's conclusion was eventually decided upon and added to the finished form of the work. Shane Reed, most recognized for his work on the film Deadpool, in which Ryan Reynolds starred, directed the epilogue. Reed is renowned for his additional contributions to the image. Reynolds is thought to have used his power to make sure his wife's version was selected for the final say. This is in line with the internet rumors that have been going around. This theory is in agreement with the existing hypotheses, and it is consistent with them. It's easy to see why Baldoni chose to maintain some distance between himself and Lively, the actors, and even Colleen Hoover, in order to avoid any potential issues from developing in the road. After careful examination of the events thus far, this conclusion was reached. Most people believe that Baldoni, as the film's director, was the one who was genuinely committed to delivering the message that the movie was meant to convey. This is the opinion that a large portion of people hold. He has emphasized numerous times in a large number of interviews that It Ends With Us is not a love story, but rather an abusive tragedy that shouldn't be romanticized. This is a sentiment he has repeatedly voiced. He has made this remark on several occasions and at various points in time. He has successfully and persuasively delivered this point to the audience on multiple occasions. However, Lively has come under fire because of the actions she took when taking part in the movie's promotional campaign. These activities have drawn criticism since they were thought to be improper. Many felt that it was improper for her to utilize humor at the advertising events she was giving because of the serious topics the movie tackled. This was a result of the film's weighty subject matter. The fact that she participated in the press tour to promote her new hair product line and that she facilitated Reynolds' participation in such events has been raised to the attention of critics. All in all, this conversation is a timely reminder of how important it is to handle delicate situations like domestic abuse with the appropriate level of care and seriousness. It seems that Baldoni's strategy for making sure the film is viewed appropriately is to stand back and focus on promoting the real message that the film is attempting to get across. This is because Baldoni wants to ensure that the turbulence that occurs off-screen during the film does not overshadow the picture, and that it is viewed in the proper light. I am very interested in knowing your ideas and opinions regarding this topic, as well as your thoughts and feelings. You're more than welcome to utilize the comments section to share your thoughts and opinions with the public. I appreciate you seeing. Remember to subscribe and like our YouTube channel.